Hey guys, so today I'm here to do the A to Z Bookish Survey. I'm not sure who this was created by, I probably should have looked it up before, but I'll put the name right here, and I'll leave all the information down below. So basically there's 26 questions, and each question pertains to a particular letter of the alphabet. So let's get started. So A is author you've read the most books from, and I went on Goodreads, and you can go on Goodreads and click on most read authors, and it was Lemony Snicket because I've read the whole series of Unfortunate Events, which is 13 books. B, it's best sequel ever, and I'm going to choose Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. It was the best continuation of a series I've ever read, conclusion. You're going to see a lot of this book in this tag, I'm just warning you right now. C is for currently reading. Currently reading Throne of Glass, although I've kind of stopped for a while. I'm about 100 pages in, but I've been having a problem getting into it. So I am also reading Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. D is drink of choice while reading. I don't usually drink while I'm reading because I don't want to spill anything, so I'm just going to skip this one. E is e-reader or physical book. I'm going to go with physical book, although I do love reading from my Kindle. I much prefer to own all these physical books. F is fictional character you probably would have dated in high school, and for that I'm going to choose Jem Carstairs from the Infernal Devices series, because he's just so, sweet, and I feel like we would be a good match. G is glad you gave this book a chance, and for this one I am choosing Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I wasn't really interested in reading this book for a while, because I was like, robots, Cinderella, that's stupid. But then one day I just randomly, wanted to read this, so I picked it up at Barnes & Noble, and I read it, and it was my favorite book of last year. So I am so glad that I gave it a chance. H is Hidden Gem Book, and for that I chose The Breakup Artist by Philip Siegel. I picked this up at an author signing, and just kind of on a whim. I'd never heard of it, but I met the author, and I read it, and it was hilarious. So definitely go check it out. I is important moment in your reading life, and I'm going to say when I first got my Kindle because I suddenly discovered the world of YA books, and I had never really read much until I discovered YA. And from knowing all about the YA literature, I discovered BookTube, and here I am. J is for just finished. I just finished last night Out of the Easy by Ruta Sepetys. She wrote Between Shades of Grey. Not 50 Shades of Grey, Between Shades of Grey. Anyway, this is really good. K is kind of books you won't read. I don't really want to say never to any genre, but I really don't think I'll ever pick up an erotica book. L is longest book you have read, and that would be Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling, which is almost 900 pages. M is major book hangover because of... Now let's see if you're surprised by this one. Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. Actually, I really have never had a book hangover until I read this book, and I didn't read anything for a whole day or two afterwards. And even then I picked up City of Lost Souls because I wanted to read more Shadowhunters. N is number of bookcases you own. I have 3 down here. This one here you see behind me, and I'll show you my other 2. Second and third ones are over there. See the second one? I know there's a lot of clutter, I'm sorry. But the second one and then the third one is the short one, and it has all my Nancy Drew books on it. O is one book you've read multiple times, and that would be Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. I have reread quite a few books, but I've read this one 3 times, and I think that's really the most I've ever read a book. P is preferred place to read. I prefer to read on my bed. Q is quote that inspires you or gives you all the feels from a book you've read, and I chose a quote from Harry Potter. There's a lot, but this one I just chose. It is our choices, Harry, that show us what we truly are far more than our abilities, and that's from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. R is for reading regret, and that would be not reading Harry Potter when I was younger. I didn't read them until about 2 or 3 years ago. It was after the last movie had even come out. I'd never seen the movies and never read the books until a couple years ago, and the problem was I was spoiled on a lot of stuff because obviously they had been out for a while, and I really would have just liked to have grown up with Harry Potter. S is series you started and need to finish, and there's quite a few, but I'm choosing Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead because I was kind of late on the bandwagon, and I'm only on book, 3 is the next one I have to read. T is for 3 of your all-time favorite books, and they would be, no surprise, Clockwork Princess, The Hunger Games, that I'm just not going to take out because it's too much, and Cinder by Marissa Meyer, as I mentioned before. U is unapologetic fangirl for Jem and Will from the Infernal Devices series. No surprise. V, very excited for this release more than others. That would be The Retribution of Mara Dyer, which Supposedly comes out in November. We'll see if it gets pushed back again. I think it's been pushed back about 10 times already. W is worst bookish habit. I don't really know if I don't really have any bad bookish habits. One that, it doesn't bother me, but I know it would bother a lot of people, is I buy a lot of books. See, like, as you can see here with the Legend Trilogy, the first one's in paperback, and the second two are in hardcover. It doesn't bother me at all, but I know a lot of people, like, cringe when they see that. You're probably cringing right now looking at that on my shelf. X marks the spot. Start at the top of your shelf and pick the 27th book. So I'm going to do that right now. That would be Pandemonium by Lauren Oliver. Y is your latest book purchase, and that would be these 4 books, which you'll see in my next haul, that I got from Ollie's Bargain Outlet for, get this, $1.99 each. Yes, 4 hardcovers, $1.99 each. And Z is Z Snatcher book, a book that you stayed up way late reading. I don't really stay up very late reading because I get really tired and then I can't concentrate, but one that I'm going to mention is What Happened to Goodbye by Sarah Dessen. I didn't stay up like too late reading it, but I knew I needed to finish it by like midnight, so I was up later than I usually am reading. So that was the A to Z Bookish Survey. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye!